Wrong Turn, one of the best movie classics ever created. This is one of those movies that if you watched it as a young child, now you look at everybody that has even the slightest deformity in their face as if they're trying to gut you. But this is one of my personal favourite horror classics. It's more of a slasher than anything. There is a lot of blood in this one. Most people at the crisp young age of 8 years old would have been watching all the Disney movies, Despicable Me or whatever the fuck. Me over here was watching Wrong Turn. So this is feeling very nostalgic for me. So today we're going to be going over Wrong Turn 2 Dead End. Please subscribe. So our movie begins and we are introduced to our first character, Kim, who is on her way to a film shoot in the middle of nowhere, and Jesus Christ, Houdini appears out of nowhere. And because Kim here is an upstanding citizen, she goes to make sure that the person that she just plowed down is actually okay. And listen closely, kids, here is another example as to why you should never help anybody. Because as her reward for being a good person, she gets her lips bitten off. Not the most ideal thank you in the world. And as she tries to turn to run away from the lip stealer, she's blocked by another mysterious man who, Jesus fucking Christ, I 110% can't show this on YouTube. My man has a mean swing. But now we get introduced to the rest of the cattle. This right here is Dale, who is a retired colonel from the Marines. This right here is Jonesy, and I really do not like Jonesy. He's basically just a creep, and every word out of his mouth has to do with sex. So yeah, you can see the type of person this man is. Then we have Elena, whose intro tells you literally everything you need to know about her. We have Nina, who is the quiet loner type. And this is Jake, whose football career was stunted because of an injury he had to his shoulder. We then have M, who is the director of this entire spiel, and this right here is the producer, Mara. And because of the fact that Kim never showed up because she had a run in with an axe, she ends up having to take her spot on the show because they need 6 players for it. And that's basically all you need to know about any of these characters, because who gives a shit? No one cares. Basically, the premise of this entire movie is that these guys are filming a reality TV show called Apocalypse, where it's like a simulated apocalyptic type of area and you have to try and survive as long as you can. But I know what you're all thinking. We aren't here to learn about these characters. We just want to see how they die. And luckily enough for us, the director thought the exact same thing. Because 19 minutes into this movie, we get our first kill. This poor guy right here is just going about his own business, taking a piss against a tree, as you do. And then this very disrespectful man comes up and opens his airways. And also proceeds to perform the cleanest scalping I think I have ever seen in my life. That was like butter. Later that day, Dale is putting together some of the traps that they have in this show, which basically gives you like radiation poisoning or something like that, you know, like fake. But as soon as he gets on his bike to try and, you know, get out of here, he realizes that he has been fucked with. And by fucked with, I mean 2 arrows shot into each tire. And obviously our boy here is a bit perplexed. So he goes to investigate and he finds the trap that he just laid smashed to pieces. And like any normal person, he was a bit annoyed about this, you know, that's his hard work right there. So he very generously says,
"Better stand down or someone's gonna get hurt."
And then the rude bastards just start raining hellfire onto him. Like, this movie is a serious slasher, you know? Well, not serious, it's just like a gore fest. And to have a punch have such a cartoony sound effect just never made sense to me. That just makes me laugh every time. But while the Colonel is taking a nap, we cut over to Jake and Elena. And throughout the movie, M here is trying to force these two to have some on-screen chemistry. And Jake here is not interested whatsoever, so cameraman M just decides to tell her to get undressed. But Jake isn't having any of this. He puts his foot down and says this is not why he's here, his family are watching this, and walks off in a different direction. And Elena here, being the good Christian girl that she is, says that she wants to be on camera as much as possible. So to do that, she starts choking on M's meat flute. And this might be a good time to mention that M here is Mara's boyfriend. And the only reason Mara is here even doing any of this is because she wants to support him in his first project. And I'm saying this because you might understand her dismay when she turns the corner and witnesses this happening. And I just love the fact that he didn't even put the camera down. My man is standing there like one of the 300 ready for war. I just thought that was hilarious. But because she saw that the only reason that she was here was getting blown like a whistle, she gets upset and decides that she wants to go home. So the first house she comes across, she just walks inside. Are you dumb? This is America. They can shoot on sight and it's legal. And you just walk into this person's house. She walks in calling out if anyone's home so she could use their phone. And instead of a phone, she ends up witnessing a mutant baby birth, which, yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, my guy. Like, just look, oh, Jesus Christ, kill it with fire, throw it off a building, burn it. Might be a baby and everything, but Jesus Christ, man, it looks like a xenomorph. But lo and behold, they eventually get spotted by Lady Mutant and get chased into a room. And while they're in this room, Lady Mutant is trying to break through the door. And she's making good progress, so what do you think these guys do? A. Escape through the numerous windows that are in this room. B. Try to reason with Lady Mutant. Or C. Escape through the toilet. I'll give you a minute. You got your answer? Yeah, it's C. Why? I don't know. Now, horror movies are known for the characters making stupid decisions, but like, I would have dove headfirst out that window before even thinking of going into that toilet. I would have preferred to die, actually, because if this is what the mutants look like, God knows what type of shit they produce, bro. But while the girls are running away trying to escape the scary boys, Mara gets clocked in the skull with an axe, and might I add, what a fucking throw. But this right here is Daddy Mutant, and he is on the search for Nina. And he got dangerously close, but lucky for Nina, she got saved by the horn. Because another one of the mutants come out of nowhere and distract Big Boy here. And my man pulls up to the function eating the index finger like it is a fucking chicken wing. Oh yeah, I might not have mentioned that, but yeah, they're cannibals. Fun fact. But then we cut to Dale, who is actually still alive, surprisingly. And this is when we get introduced to my favorite cannibal. This right here is Treefinger, and he's not the most savory looking chap in the world. My guy starts messing around with his food and starts trying to shank Dale while wearing the scalp of P-Man like a toupee. This is why Treefinger's my favorite. He's so quirky. Damn, Treefinger. Got me feeling some type of way. What that tongue do, bro? Then we cut back to the glizzy glucking that's going on, and it seems they've just wrapped up for the day. But instead of leaving together, Elena decides that she wants to sunbathe a little bit. But this is when we start seeing POV shots through like bushes and stuff, and usually when this happens in these movies, that means the killer is stalking their prey and they're about to murder them. So at first I was like, damn, I didn't think she died this early on, but it soon became apparent that my man was choking the chicken, if you will. This man starts going to town over this girl. But then, just as my boy was about to finish up happy rub time, his girlfriend comes and starts giving out to him. And in a fit of jealous rage, she runs out at the girl and starts slicing at her back until her spine is exposed. As you do. Very normal reaction, nothing to see here. Right after this, we cut back to Dale, who is still hanging, as he witnesses Mara's body being dropped at the camp. But just as Treefinger was about to finish the job, Dale hits him with what's the capital of Thailand? Bangkok! He eventually manages to cut himself free, and after a bit of a scuffle, he shoots Treefinger into the nether realm. In a stunt that definitely did not stand the test of time. But it's actually great to see a character in a movie actually fight back instead of just running away screaming the entire time. So right after Dale blows Treefinger to the nether realm, we cut to Jake, Jonesy, and I cannot remember her name. I'm gonna call her Marine Woman. But these three are gathered around the campfire enjoying a nice well-cooked meal that Jonesy and Marine Woman stole from another hunter's camp earlier on in the movie. And they're just having a good old time, talking about what they're gonna do with the prize money if they win, talking about their lives, just getting to know each other, you know? Until Nina had to come and ruin everything. She falls into the camp spewing shit like, oh, they killed her, she's dead. You know, stuff that really kills the vibe. But Jonesy isn't believing this because due to the fact that they're on a post-apocalyptic show, but because of this, Jonesy doesn't believe that what she's seeing was real and is trying to explain to her that it was all just an act. But this is all cut very short because they realize that while they were, you know, eating around the campfire, having some good times together, they were actually eating Kimberly's leg. And because of this realization, they all run off into the forest to come up with a plan. But while all this is happening, Dale is on a mission. He pulls up to this weird old man's house, shotgun in hand, and for some reason, this guy just says that he is a good Christian man, and that was enough for Dale to sit down and have a nice conversation with him. The guy basically starts explaining who the cannibals are, why they are here, starts talking about his wife, but unfortunately this sweet time is put to an end when old man Jenkins here goes to reach for the gun to kill the Marine. Because, and I quote,
gotta stay close to my youngins.
Dun dun dun! You're telling me this weird looking old man that has fish carcasses hanging outside of his house and is the only other living creature in a fucking 5-mile radius is related to these cunts? What? But Dale makes light work of this man and sends him to an early grave. Right after this, Jake and the gang make it back to home base, home camp where the RV used to be that they all came in. But unlucky for them, it was stolen earlier on in the movie. So them and them are trapped. But because of this, the boys venture into the woods to figure out a way out of this hellscape. And while on their travels, they come across Peepin' Tom here laying some pipe into his girlfriend who was wearing Elena's scalp as a wig. And this absolute brainiac says this.
It's Elena. What makes you think that?
Are you fucking blind? This looks nothing like Elena, and he has the brilliant idea to confront the cannibal. And as soon as it's revealed that that isn't Elena getting that good dick, Nina runs away into the forest and eventually falls into a little hole, you know, fucking casual activity. And cutting back to the cannibals, of course, your boy is a bit upset that he had been cockblocked for the second time today, I might add. So he starts swinging some haymakers, but nothing really comes from this. He ends up falling and like breaking his neck, which he just pops back into place as you do. But other than that, they eventually get away. But not too long after, literally 5 minutes later, I'm not even joking, this movie does not pull its punches. Jonesy and Marine Woman are running through the forest and Jonesy gets caught in an ankle trap. Marine Woman tries to help out by untying a knot that does not look tight whatsoever. I don't know why she struggled. She too gets caught in an ankle trap and they are both left dangling there. And while they're up there, they're whispering stuff to each other like, oh, we're gonna get out of this, we're gonna live to see another day. And before a sentence could even be fucking finished, they both got impaled. Now we're basically at the final act of the movie, okay? And I was watching this and I was like, oh, there hasn't been too many stupid decisions in this movie. Until we got to this part. Basically, Nina and Jake got separated from the other two who are now shish kebab together. And they come across this big factory that have loads of like toxic waste barrels outside of it. That all has stuff written on it like causes birth defects and stuff like that. And it is basically the only giant building that they have seen their entire time here. And these fuckers just walk straight in. No thoughts of like, oh, maybe this is where they live, you know? Or maybe there's more of them here, considering the stuff that definitely turned them into these fucking things are littered outside. But it gets worse. They go into this place, and after a bit of investigating, you know, dead body findings and stuff, like, you know, the casual Sunday, they eventually come across a garage. And this garage is filled to the brim with cars, including their RV. And yeah, their first thought for whatever fucking reason isn't to get the fuck out of there. They stand there for a solid like 30 seconds just thinking until they start hearing the noise of M, the glizzy god himself, crying out for help. So they go to investigate. They hear the noise coming from inside the RV, and once they go in, it's a trap. It was a videotape the entire time. And now this little part at the end I kind of enjoyed because it is the longest that we've had with the mutants leading up to this point. We usually just have them when they're killing people and that's all. But we cut to dinner time with the mutants. We have Jake strung up to the roof, and they must like Nina or something because they have her sitting with them at the dinner table. But instead of just trusting her to sit there like a good girl, they used razor wire. It's the only way I can describe this. Wrapped around her entire hand, so every time she moves, she just slices into her hand. It is nasty. But lucky for the gang, big boy Dale is here to play. The mutants hear a noise and realize that they're not alone anymore, so they go to investigate. And unlucky for Peepin' Tom and Crazy Girl over here, they are Dale's first victims. He ends up sticking some dynamite into the back pocket of Peepin' Tom and blows them both up. Fucking 2 for 1, let's go. But come on, Dale, you know, you have to be a bit more creative. You already used that trick. But if you are partial to watching a slasher yourself, you will know that the good guys never win. You know, don't be a good citizen, kids. So this got me a little worried for our boy Dale here. He has put in some work. He is the only one out of all of them who have killed any of the mutants. He ends up getting Nina loose, who just fucking lets out a blood-curdling scream. Did you not get the memo that you're supposed to be quiet? And he also ends up freeing Jake, because what a man. But unfortunately from him, Mama Mutant is in possession of the fucking weapon of the devil himself. It is 2 balls on a chain with fucking razor blades attached to the chain. She throws it at Dale, it wraps around his neck, and yeah, bye-bye Dale. Nina eventually gets outside, but unfortunately Jake does not. Mama Mutant and Big Boy here are very upset over the death of their children. So when Jake gets close to the exit, they turn on this crushing machine, which is one of my worst fears. Like, that is not a way I want to die. And they try and throw Jake into it. But yeah, he struggles for quite a bit here, and luckily for him, Nina comes to save the day with the most gentle head smack I've ever seen. But Jake eventually gets out of the machine, and Nina presses a button which sends a log hurtling towards the 2 mutants, which hits them and sends them both into the grinder. And then Jake and Nina ride off into the sunset and get the good ending they deserve. And that's the end of the movie. Or is it? Dun dun dun! But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Wrong Turn Dead End. I love the Wrong Turn movies, man. The second one I remember as being my favorite, but now that I've watched it back, it wasn't as good as I remember it being. But you know, these movies are just gore fests, you know, they're gore porn. They're just kind of like turn your brain off type of thing, watch people try to survive these fucking cannibalistic murderers, and then watch people get killed in some gruesome ways. Because I've watched all of the Wrong Turn movies, they get fucking creative with their kills. Now, there wasn't many creative ones in this one, you know, the girl got chopped in half at the start, the guys got shish kebabbed, people got blown up twice, you know, it wasn't very creative, but later on it gets very creative. The third one specifically, I remember some kills from that are still ingrained in my mind. I love seeing fictional people be killed in ways that I never want to see a real person be killed in. So yeah, if this video does well, I will definitely do another one. I will do all the way up until the new 2021 one if you want, because I recently watched that and like it completely like changes the whole formula. It's not actual mutants that are killing people. They aren't like actual cannibals like the way they are in these movies, but I will 100% do right up until that movie if you guys really want to see it. I'm free for the whole week, so this week I'm just going to be recording like more different types of these videos about different movies. But before I end this video off, if you guys have any ideas of how I could make these videos more entertaining for you, or you just have any like constructive criticism that you would like to throw my way, please let me know down below, because I'm very new to this style of video and I want to know what the people that are watching the video would like from it, you know? If you're new here and you like my face, make sure to subscribe and check out the channel. There's a whole variety of different content on there. As I said, please subscribe. We're on the road to 1k by the end of the year, and if we hit that, I'm going to be going skydiving and I'm going to be bringing you guys along with me. But yeah, with that all said, folks, it's been EXO, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a good one.